Happy Tuesday. I am just going to give it a few seconds here, and while I'm doing that, I will bring it up on my iPad. There we go. So if you are watching this on YouTube at 7 p.m. on Tuesday evening Pacific time, then you are watching live. Hello, thanks for joining me. Please be sure to jump on the chat and say hello and tell me where you're watching from. If you are watching this on Facebook, on my Facebook page, then you are watching the replay. And I will also put the replay up here on YouTube too when we're done with the live. So tonight I'm making 2 cards using the new Butterfly Bouquet set of stamps and papers, and I will be showing that to you in just a moment. That just went live today, and so you'll be able to find that on my shopping page, and once I get my phone mounted here, you'll be able to see all that information. So I'm going to be doing some fun techniques and maybe a little bit different, hopefully, than what you have already seen if you've been watching this. I think it's the butterflies are everywhere right now because it's the new thing. So, but who doesn't like butterflies? I love butterfly stuff. So let's get started. Let me just switch this around here and get this up in the air. All right. So here is the information for where you can shop with me and the host code if you do place an order with me. I would love it if you would use that code. And unless your order was over $150, then don't use that code because you will earn free things. So you can also find this code on my landing page when you get here to shop. It'll be on the hello page there. All right, so let me just bring in the stamp set. Now, actually, I'm going to bring in the paper because the paper is only available while supplies last for this month, the month of March, okay? So there's all these beautiful papers and they are double-sided. There's a lot of like watercolor looking things there too. So very gorgeous paper. The stamps are that's one stamp, okay? And let me just get this plastic back on here so these papers don't go flying everywhere. The dies, okay, this outline die here is one die and it cuts out all of those butterflies with one trip through your machine. It also cuts out, on this particular design of paper, it cuts out these butterflies right here. So that's cool because you can cut those butterflies out and you don't have to do any coloring or anything. And then it's got these other fun little elements here on the dies. This is one of the dies. You get all of these dies. So you get all of these fun outline dies to overlay on the solid images. So you would stamp this in, well, usually butterfly colors, black on the top, but you know, you can make it whatever color you want, and then whatever solid image or patterned paper image you want underneath. So those are the dies. And then there's also in the collection this paper here. This is a specialty paper, Natural Touch. There's only 2 sheets of paper in this, and it's got this really nice wood grain and texture that you can actually feel to it as well. Okay, so those are the papers. and the stamps and dies. I'm also going to be using tonight the Many Mates bundle, which is this die set along with these stamps. I thought this would be fun to use with the butterflies. And then I'm using some papers from the Fine Art Floral. So let's get started. All right. I did some of, because I'm making 2 cards and I don't want the video to be too long, I did some of the work ahead of time. So I went ahead and ran a piece of black cardstock through my machine with that Many Medallions die. And so that's what it looks like. And what's kind of cool about this is you can easily cut this into strips or squares or individual little pieces. So you could cut one line of this off and use it as a border. So there's just, this is a fun set. You could cut out the middle and make a frame. All kinds of things you can do with that. I cut the butterflies out using that Fine Art Floral paper. That's what it looks like on the back side. So it cut out 6 different butterflies, and I chose these 3 that I'm going to be using for this card. And then I went ahead and cut out with black cardstock the ones that are going to go on top. And then I have a piece of the black sparkle ribbon that's so gorgeous. This is actually in the annual catalog, is where you'll find that. And the Mini Medallions is also in the annual catalog. And then I have a cardstock stock base made with Flirty Flamingo cardstock. And then we're going to do something fun here with this piece of white. So we'll do that first. So what I'm going to do is grab some blender brushes here. And let me just get a piece of scratch paper. And I'm going to start with Flirty Flamingo. And one of our blending brushes here. And I'm just going to blend some color here onto this piece of white cardstock. And I'm going to create sort of a tie-dye, I guess, looking background. And you can make this as dark or light as you want it to be. I don't want it too bright. But I am going to be putting this behind that black piece that I cut with the Mini Medallions, so I want it to show up for sure. All right. And then I just have a microfiber cloth that I like to brush my brush off and get the color out. And the next color I'm going to use is Daffodil Delight. Just trying to see where all I want to go with this color. And I think we'll call that good for that color. And then the last color I'm using is Coastal Cabana. Now, if I really, really wanted smooth blending, I would work on my craft mat, and I definitely would start more off the edge of my paper so that I wouldn't get any weird little imperfections in the blending. But because this is going to be going behind that other piece that I die cut already, I'm not too concerned with that. Okay, pretty. Kind of looks like Easter colors. So I am on the coast in Newport, Oregon. And if any of you care to chat, I'd love it if you told me where you're watching from. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in the Frost White Shimmer paint. This comes in, we have it in two colors. We have it in the Frost White. There's a little blender bead in there. Excuse me. And then we have it in Champagne. And I'm just going to use the Frost White here, and I have a finger dauber, and I'm going to use what's in the lid. So if you have a finger, if you have any of these, you could just get one that's all you use it for, is the paint, and kind of dedicate it to that. Okay, I'm just going to swirl this on. And it's going to kind of blend around the paint or the ink. But what it's really going to do is give me this beautiful frosty look to the paper. And I'm sure you can't see it right now, but once I get done doing this, I will hold it up and tilt it, and hopefully you'll be able to see it. We're going to be using the shimmer on the second card as well, but in a very different manner. Okay, I think I need one little bit more, and then I will have made it all the way around the card. It's very frosty. I don't know. Yeah, I guess you can kind of see the shimmer a little bit there. Okay. So I'm just going to set that aside and let that dry for a minute, and we will work on the butterflies while that is doing its thing. Okay, so all I need to do with these is I'm going to use my Tombow Mono glue here, and I'm just going to glue, I think there's some glue in there. There we go. glue those onto the bases. And again, I use the Fine Art Floral paper that I cut these pieces with. And so the colors that I chose for this were kind of muted colors that's in here. So like the Flirty Flamingo and Coastal Cabana, that might be Pool Party, I'm not sure, but and then a yellow, so I chose the Daffodil Delight. So those colors, even though they're more pastel, were to match or go along with this paper. But the star of the show is the butterflies, so that is what we want people looking at. And then this is just a pretty added bonus in the back with all that shimmer on it. Okay, now those can dry, and while those are drying, we can do some stamping. And let's see, which one do I want to use? I think maybe a Get Well Soon. Let's do that one. Right here. That's it. And I'm just going to stamp that up with Memento Black. I really like that font. That is very cute. Okay, so that is the sum total of stamping that will be on this particular card. All right, I think we are ready to put this together. So I'll bring back in the Flirty Flamingo card base, and we will go ahead and get this put on the inside. We don't see a lot of butterflies, real butterflies here where I live on the coast, but once in a while one will go fluttering past, which is always fun when we do see them. Okay, so this is feeling quite dry. And again, let me pull it up here and show you the shimmer on there. So what I'm going to do to attach it is I am just going to put a little dab of glue in the middle of each of these medallion squares. And this Tombow glue dries fast and it holds tight. So even though it doesn't seem like much glue, it is going to hold this on there nicely. Just want to scoot that into place where I want it. There, and then I will press it down and hold it for a few seconds here. And now where did my, oh, here's my little piece of ribbon. Okay, so I'm going to put some adhesive along the sides here in the back just to attach my ribbon. And I'm just going to wrap it around to the back side there, put it on where I want it on the front, and then wrap it around to the back and hope that it sticks. There we go. And now then I can go ahead and finish putting the adhesive on, because I like to run the adhesive right back over the top of that ribbon just for a little added security. Almost gives it a bit of a stained glass look. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so now I am just going to bring my little ribbon box in here, and this is that same ribbon, and I'm going to just make a bow. I'm going to make a double bow. Okay. I really like this, let me start over here. I think I could have cut it just a tad bit longer. I love this black ribbon. It's got enough stiffness to it that it makes beautiful bows. But I really could have just went ahead and cut that ribbon a little bit longer. I did not need to be quite that frugal with it, but we're going to make it work. Because I don't need long tails anyway. Okay, now get it off my fingers. Here we go. Just makes the cutest puffy bows. I just love this ribbon. I wish all of it had that same body to it. There we go. All right, our bow is ready, and our butterflies are probably dry now. So I'm just going to bend those wings up slightly, and we're going to glue these right down. I want to make sure none of the butterfly is sticking outside of the edge of the card, because we want it to be able to fit in the envelope. And let's see how the bow's going to go so we know where to put these other two. And that one, I'm just going to hold it in place there for a second because I'm putting it over the top of that piece of ribbon. And I think I'll go ahead and stick the bow on before I put the other little butterfly on. And I'm just going to use glue dot for that. Cute. Okay. Of course, we need to add some bling. So I'm just going to use my rhinestones here. And if you didn't know this already, did you know you can color your if you have just the clear rhinestones, you can color them with your alcohol markers to make them whatever color you like. All right, so we are going to put one big rhinestone there and one medium one there and one small one there. And then I'm going to just sparkle it up even a little bit more with Wink of Stella. Looks like we got some glitter there. And I'm just going to sparkle up their body here. And that card is done. Once you get it on there, and of course if you're going to put it in the mail, fluffing up the wings won't do much good, but I always like to fluff the wings up. I just think it turned out pretty with that shimmer in the background, and the colors all come together with the colors in the paper on the butterflies. So I hope you like that card. Get well soon. And on to the next. All right. So this one's going to have a black card base. And then here is another piece of that paper from the Fine Art Floral Paper Pack. I loved it. It just looks like someone took paint and swished it around on there. And that's what it looks like on the other side. And then from the Butterfly Paper Pack, and keep in mind again that the Butterfly Paper Pack is only going to be around while supplies last. The stamps and the dies are going to carry over into the new annual catalog. But this is one of the pieces from that paper pack. And then this is Magenta Madness. It's a really kind of hot pink, but it's one of the colors used. It's actually, this is just a muted form of that color, but I love all these colors together. And then this one is the one that we're going to stamp on. So I'm going to bring in my Stamparatus here, and I've already got the stamp mounted. And I'm going to say, be really careful when you put your label on your stamp. As you can see, I got mine wrinkled, and once it's on there, it's on there. So I was trying to be really careful, but with it being a big stamp like that, it was a little bit hard. You can cut the butterflies apart if you want to, but just keep in mind, if you have the die cuts this whole big image out at once, but it cuts the butterflies will be separate, but it makes it so it's only one pass through your machine. All right, so because that is a rubber stamp and not a photopolymer, I took the foam cushion out because you don't want that in there when you're stamping with the red rubber ones, because the stamp already has its own cushion. So I'm just trying to line up where I want my paper. And then, because that's such a big stamp and I don't want the magnet to get in the way, I've got a piece of double-sided tape that I'm going to put down there and use to hold my paper in place where I want it, so it won't move around, because I know that I'm going to ink that up more than one time. Oopsie. All right, so I'm using the Memento Black again, and just let me bring in, it's nice to have a little something under the, let me move this over so you can see, to have it under that plate when you're inking up your stamp. All right. Now I'm just going to pull my sleeve up and rub on there. It will help to, because of that being a big stamp, it's going to help get all of the image on there. But like I said, I know I'm going to have to ink it a couple of times, probably 3 at least. To get it as dark as I want. And even though I'm going to be making all these butterflies, I'm only going to use 2 of them. So I'll have all these extra butterflies already stamped and made for other projects. And what I did was I just took a little, one of those snack size baggies, and I'm putting my extra butterflies inside of that, and then inside of the stamp case, so it's all right there together for when I want a butterfly. I think that looks pretty good. All right, I am satisfied there. Let me get those out of the way. Oh, I don't want to take, yeah, I do want to take them off of there, but I just want to clean the ink off of this real quick. And I'm just using my chamois. And it's a little extra wet because I just rinsed it out good earlier. So it's kind of extra wet right now. Okay. Let me pull that tape off of there because I don't want it getting on my stamp. Okay. Bringing back this because we're going to be doing some spraying. So remember we used the shimmer paint with the finger dauber earlier. And so what I have done is I've got a spritzer and I put on it stamping mist because I didn't want to get confused with one that was just water. And I put in a few drops of the shimmer paint into an empty spritzer, and 3 or 4 drops is about all you need, and then you fill it up with rubbing alcohol. And then I actually stuck 2 little glass beads in there. You're not going to be able to see them, but I stuck 2 little glass beads in there to help mix that up because the paint will separate from the alcohol, so you always have to shake it up and mix it up really well. And I think we're almost there. Okay. So I'm just going to hold it up here and make sure it's pointing the right direction. Phew! I can really smell that alcohol. Okay. I got it plenty wet. And that is just going to really make it shimmery. So I'm going to let that sit because I know I'll probably end up having to hit it with my heat tool, but I want to make sure that that alcohol is mostly soaked into the paper before we do that. So while I'm waiting on that, let me kind of move it out of the way here. I can do, what did I do with my little paper strips? Here they are. I can go ahead and stamp the little sentiment that is going to go on the front of the card. And punch it because I've got one of our little double punch things here. It's called Lovely Labels. So it cuts out labels or strips, banners, however you want it to be. It cuts out 3 sizes and 2 different designs. So I'm just using the Memento Black again, and we'll see if I can get this straight at all. I'm glad you were born. All right, it's not too bad. I think we'll go with that. Now, so this slot, the smallest slot is a 1/2 inch, the next size is 3/4, and the biggest is 1 inch. And if you're setting it down and slide it all the way in, you should be okay with it. But if your paper is smaller, you might want to turn it over and make sure that it's hitting the cutting part just right, because otherwise you might come out with it being a little crooked. Okay, so now this one is cut to 3/4 of an inch. And I'm going to put that one behind this one. So let's see here. I could probably use my double stick tape again rather than gluing them together right now. Put this where I want it. Oops, I'm just trying to get both sides. I'm trying to get it centered, that's what I'm trying to say. Let's get this centered. All right. Oopsie, trying to break my cutting thing here. Let's put that back together. Settle down, Jana. All right, here we go. I just want to cut these off the same length. That's all. That's all I'm trying to do. And not be crooked. Let's go right about there. All right. Get this tape off. Guess I better start from this end. Oh, come on. All right. Now, how are we doing here? Is this getting dry? Ooh, it feels pretty good. I'm just gonna zap it quickly with my heat gun. All right. So now we'll bring in that die. And we'll cut all of these out. And I've just got some Post-it note tape here to hold my die in place. And can you see the shimmer on that paper? I don't know. After I cut the butterflies out, I will hold it up better and we'll see if you can see it. So just like that, we have all those butterflies. Very shimmery. Okay, so I'm just going to set those aside there and get rid of this. And now we have these two pieces. And I have here the painted texture embossing folder. And I'm going to go ahead and stick our butterfly piece in that one and run it through my machine just for some fun here. I had put the wrong plate on the first time, so it didn't actually give it the impression. So there on the back you can kind of see better, but you can definitely feel it on the front. I just thought it would be fun to give that a little bit of texture, as well as the Magenta Madness piece. I'm putting it in the subtle, I think that's just all it's called, is the, yeah, subtle dynamic textured folder. And I'm going to run that one through. So there is the texture that that one gives. Now we can put our card together. Okay, so we've got the black card base. Need to go ahead and stamp the inside greeting, which is going to be happy birthday. And all the greetings that I'm using are from that Many Mates stamp set. I'm going to go ahead and stamp it in black. Happy birthday! Okay, let's see. I want to color that in. So I think I'm going to get the Magenta Madness. That's not it. Okay, I grabbed the light and the dark. Let's see which color. I'm gonna go with the light. So I'm just gonna use the small tip, and I am going to fill this in carefully. I don't want to go outside the lines, but usually right when I say that, I go outside the lines. So sometimes I kind of just go up to the edge, but not quite all the way. to allow it a little bit of room to do its thing, since these are alcohol markers. This color is so fun. I love bright color. Well, I just love all colors, but bright colors are happy. I can hear the ocean out there. It was a pretty day here today. Okay, now this one's much tinier, so I have to be really careful. And our little town was just full of people over the weekend. We have a working bayfront here, and there are tourist attractions down there also. There's a Ripley's Believe It or Not thing for families, and candy shops, and you know, little souvenir shops and restaurants and all that stuff. Plus it's, like I said, a working bayfront, so there's all the fishery stuff. And so we took a drive down there, and I was a little disappointed this time in looking at people, because I would say there were more people not wearing their masks than there were wearing their masks. And people have been pretty good about it up until this weekend, but anyway. Come back here. And I know that, you know, people are outside, but still on the sidewalks and as crowded as it was down there, you know, you're too close. You're definitely, I almost messed up. You're definitely not your 6-foot distance away from people. Okay, there is that. And then I want to pick, I'm going to use, I think, the littlest butterfly here. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to put the little butterfly on the inside. Just for fun. There we go. All right. Now then I can attach these two together. And then I'm going to use that same black sparkly ribbon again. Bring in my silicone mat, since I've got adhesive on the back of there. If you don't already follow my Facebook page, I am JannaStamps over on Facebook as well, and I do videos there on Friday, so you can find me there. And then I do upload those and share them to YouTube. But if you like to watch live, then you will want to go over and like and follow my Facebook page there so that you'll know when I go live there. And I'm going to make another bow. I'm not going to do a double bow this time, just a single bow. I will try not to cut my ribbon too short here. Okay, this one I'm going to make the tails go the opposite. I like to do the long. Okay, what am I doing? Maybe if I do it backwards. Nope, I have to turn it this way. Yeah, that's how I wanted it. All right. And then oopsie, that goobered up a little bit. I'm going to line this up with the edge of that Magenta Madness. There we go. And this is going to stick on again with a glue dot. And then we are going to put one butterfly on here. And let's see. I'm going to put this one there to cover up that smudge. Fix that. And then a medium one. Where do I want to put it? maybe right about there, kind of in a triangle. There we go. Let me fluff this bow up a little bit. So there is that one. All that shimmer on that butterfly. I'm glad you were born. Happy birthday. And now I've got these other butterflies I can use for something else. And here's the first card we made. And then I will bring in the other two that I made earlier. So this one is the same as that one. I just used a different background paper and a different, a yellow paper from that Fine Art Floral paper pack, or is that what it's called? Yeah, Fine Art Floral. And I did the same on the inside. Hi, Leah. So which color of those two is your favorite? I kind of like them both. This one's fun because it has those little yellow butterflies fluttering all over in the background. And then this one's quite colorful. They're both cheerful. I'm going to say of those two, the yellow one's my favorite. And then this is the one we made tonight. And this is the one I made earlier today. And the only difference between these two cards are the butterflies, because that represents all 6 of the butterflies that the stamps and dies cut out. So I used the more medium ones and the medium to small on this first card that I made, and tonight I used the bigger ones. And other than that, these cards are the same, except this one I made into a get well card, the one we did tonight, and this one was a just thinking of you. Very fun. I just love that frosty glimmer behind that mini medallions paper. It just gives it that stained glass kind of look. You like the yellow too, Leah? Yeah. The yellow's my favorite, but I like them both. So there are the cards. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for what's it been? It's been an hour and almost 5 minutes. I really appreciate it. Next time, bring your friends along. And I will upload my Friday video to YouTube, but like I said, you can watch me live on Facebook at JannaStamps there on Friday, and that will most likely be also at 7 p.m. Pacific time. And then I will be back live on here next Tuesday. All right? In the meantime, happy stamping. See you next time. Bye-bye.